Hello friends, let us now learn about one of the important topics about the saturation voltage. So what is saturation voltage? So what actually happens is this is the filament of the X-ray tube. When the filament of the X-ray tube is heated, electrons absorb the thermal energy and these electrons will acquire charge which is sufficient enough to come out of the metal surface. So they will come out of the metal surface and they will form an electron cloud around the filament. So the electrons absorbing the thermal energy and they are coming out of the metal surface. This is called as thermionic emission. And the electron cloud which is developed here is called as the Edison's effect. This negative charges which are seen around the filament is called as space charge. Now, these electrons will acquire energy. Slowly, this negative charge will prevent even more electrons from coming out of the filament because negative charges repel each other. Now, these electrons will slowly, as the filament heats and heats and heats, the electrons in the filament will now gain more and more energy to overcome this space charge and they start accelerating towards the anode. So, the space charge, which is the residual space charge, which is present around the filament, this will limit the number of electrons which is moving from the filament to the anode. When slowly on heating the filament more and more, all the electrons in the filament will now get sufficient energy to overcome this space charge and they move towards the anode. That is called as saturation voltage. Beyond that saturation voltage, even if you increase the kVp even further, there is no influence on the current flowing through the X-ray tube. So that is called as saturation voltage. So if you plot the kVp, that is the voltage across the X-ray tube with the tube current. See, what is tube current? When electrons flow from cathode to anode, the current which is produced is called as tube current, which is expressed in milliamperes. Whereas the potential difference applied between the cathode and anode is called as kVp. This is the maximum potential difference. As you increase the kVp, the filament will get heated and heated. There are electrons which gain energy to overcome this residual space charge effect and they move towards the anode, and this movement of electrons from cathode to anode will generate a current called as tube current. Now, slowly, when you increase the voltage, the tube current, the electrons flowing from cathode to anode increases. So the tube current increases up to a certain certain voltage called as saturation voltage. Beyond this, even on increasing the voltage more and more, the tube current will not increase. So this is called as saturation voltage. Thank you.